Puri looks like the simplest miracle in Indian food. One flat circle of dough that suddenly inflates into a perfect golden balloon. But here's the truth. That puff is fragile. On a factory line, one tiny mistake. Dough too wet, oil a few degrees off, timing half a second late, turns puffy into flat, greasy or hard. And once it fails, there is no fixing it. Inside this modern factory, it's a non-stop race. Flour becomes dough, dough becomes rounds, and then the real pressure hits. High heat fryers where Puris must swell at the exact moment, flip cleanly and drain fast. It's not just frying, it's precision, heat and speed. Stay with me, because the engineering behind that perfect puff is harder than you think. A perfect puri doesn't start in hot oil. It starts with a signature and a raw lot number. One wrong AT supplier, one hidden moisture spike, one compromised seal, and the whole line pays the price with fake crunch, stale notes, and puris that puff like punctured balloons. So we lock the specs on flour, salt and frying oil as per contract, lock the delivery rhythm by shift, and give every sack a traceable identity, right from day one. Before the dough is born, the fight has already begun. One seal number off, and the plant freezes. The security gate isn't procedure. It's the first firewall between a clean line and a tampered, damp, contaminated load. Brake hiss, pen scratches. Time in, plate number, supplier name, seal intact or not. Each note is a decision. Allow entry or stop right here itself. Receiving matches the PO, scans the packaging like a crime scene, and sends the truck down a one-way safe lane. No shortcuts, no second chances. Flour can look innocent and still betray you. White color, decent smell, and yet 1 extra % moisture, one faint off odor, one clump hiding at the bottom, and in oil the puri will tear, leak air, and collapse like it got strangled. Samples come from start middle end of the lot. Quick tests hit moisture, color, foreign matter, smell, lumping. The oil gets judged. The enemy in the store doesn't make noise. It is humidity. It is heat. It is pests moving on silent roads at night. One pallet kept too close to wall or floor, and flour turns to hard lumps. Fresh aroma becomes go-down smell. So raw lot labels go on every pallet. Barcodes get scanned like locking a vault. FIFO keeps time from spoiling flavor, and temperature humidity is controlled properly. Traps are set. Issuance plans move from store to line like a lifeline. Quiet discipline. Total control. Here, even 1 gram can kill the final crack. Flour moves by FIFO into a dry, clean weighing room, almost like an OT for ingredients. Sifting breaks clumps that would become weak points on the puri surface. Batch ID is created at the scale. Salt is weighed like dosage. Water is held at target temperature so the dough doesn't get shocked. Then the numbers are locked and signed. From this point, nothing is approximately. Everything is accountable. A small mistake in water rhythm looks harmless, until the dough becomes either dry and tearing or sticky and heavy, and both will die in hot oil. Flour enters the kneader in the right order. Salt disperses at low speed. Water goes in pulses so hydration stays stable. The bowl is scraped. No dry flour hiding on the rim. Speed rises. The mass comes together. Surface smooths out like it's being polished. Time logged. Dough temperature logged. Crunch is not luck, it is control. This is the most dangerous silence. The dough rests in lidded steel, lightly oiled, surface leveled so it rests evenly. Too dry and a skin forms. Later it cracks on the roller. Too warm or too cold, and elasticity goes wrong. Puff becomes uneven. Shape becomes ugly. Timer runs as per recipe. Humidity is watched. A gentle fold may be done if required. Press the dough. Slow spring back. That's the signal. It's ready for the next fight. If the dough balls aren't uniform, the Puris won't be fair. Some puff like champions, some sit flat like wet paper. Dough hits the dividing table. A light dusting prevents sticking. The divider is set to exact grams. 5 test pieces are weighed. Then the stream begins. Each ball is rounded tight, kept spaced on trays, covered so moisture stays in. Bench rest lets gluten relax for rolling. Rejects go to rework. No negotiation. One-way flow to the rolling station. Smooth, steady, consistent. This is where the Puri phase first appears and where errors show up instantly. One thin spot like tissue, and in oil it will tear. Air escapes, puff collapses. The rolling table is clean. Dusting is minimal so oil doesn't turn cloudy. Ball is pressed into a small disc, rotated, flipped, rolled from center to edge with even pressure, like a metronome. Fingers feel for weak zones. Diameter hits target. Extra flour is brushed off. Discs are stacked carefully, covered so edges don't dry out. Not rolling. Sculpting for a perfect puff. beautiful round can die just by waiting too long. The edge dries, microcracks form, and the puff turns lopsided. So the cutter must be sharp, clean edge, no jagged bite. Trimmings go to rework as per allowed ratio, never mixed blindly. Cut discs stay flat, separated if needed, checked for bubbles and cracks, then moved by batch ID straight to frying. Staging time has a hard limit. Rolling speed and frying tempo must match, otherwise the whole line loses its breath. Hot oil doesn't forgive. It judges in 1 second. Dirty oil carries burnt smell into every puri. Wrong temperature makes it greasy or burns it before it can puff. So oil is filtered at shift start, filled to the proper level so puris can float freely, heated gradually for stability. Sensors are verified against a standard thermometer. Conveyor rhythm is tested. Guards, emergency stop, face shield, safety is checked. Then 1 to 2 test purists go in. Puff time, color, behavior. Only after the parameters are locked, the real show starts. You hear the oil sing before you see the puri rise. Drop timing wrong, heat pools. Discs touch each other, they sink like stones. The disc hits oil. Bubbles ring the edge, telling you the heat is right. A quick push down for half a second, then release. The top turns slightly matte. Hot oil is spooned over the surface. Edge curls. A bubble forms at center. Air starts getting trapped inside. A gentle press at the center locks the pocket. Then, boom! The dome lifts, tight and round like a small balloon. Flip fast, no hesitation, or it will deflate. Rotate to avoid hot spots. Skim crumbs to keep oil clean. Tap with the ladle. Hollow sound means perfect puff. Lift. Hold at an angle for oil to drain. Transfer to the mesh while the dome still stands proud. This is the tempo. Drop, spoon, press, flip, lift. Done right, it looks like magic. Done wrong, it looks like failure. crunch can die from steam. If cooling is wrong, the puri self-steams and softens quietly. So the puri moves on a vibrating mesh to shed oil, then into forced air to pull heat out fast. Misshapen or collapsed pieces are removed immediately. Snap test. A clean crack, not a dull bend. Color must be even golden. Aroma must be fresh. No old oil note. Random weight checks confirm it's not oil heavy. Cooling airflow is adjusted, so it cools fast without sweating. Time from fry to pack is limited strictly because moisture doesn't wait. One wrinkled seal line is a leak. Air enters, crunch exits. The machine is set for count, not weight. Trial packs stabilize the feed. Then Puris flow in like armor being fitted. Seal must be straight, tight, no pinholes. Date, batch ID, trace code. Printed exactly where it should be. Check wager rejects under overpacks. Metal detector, if present, gives the last security sweep. Cartons are filled, sealed, labeled, logged. The story leaves the fryer and lives inside one thin heat seal. Packing isn't the end. It's a handover to a new enemy. Time, humidity, transport handling. Cartons are palletized, stretch-wrapped, moved into finished goods storage, then dispatched as per schedule. At the supermarket, they count, receive, and place on shelves. And finally, a hand picks up a pack, gives it a small shake. Here's that dry, crisp rattle inside. If every step behind the curtain was done properly, the first bite will crack loud. If not, the silence of a soft puri will expose the entire journey.
Thank you for watching the video, and please subscribe to my channel. And what production process would you like to see next?